Okay, it looks like we are live, and we're going to have a short pregame show, just a couple of minutes long, and hopefully we've got good audio. Let me check that out right now on the iPad and make sure that we're okay. Got it up on the iPad. Okay, yeah, sounds good, sounds good. Okay, Stig's in the house, Lance is in the house, Eduardo's in the house. So a few folks are in the house early, and this is another emergency broadcast. And we might have a special guest today. Let me make sure that I have Skype ready. Yes, I do. And hopefully we will have a special guest calling in, the Stevester. The Stevester said that he may be able to call in. Now, he's always busy as a one-armed paper hanger, so we keep our fingers crossed and hope that he can actually call in. And he said that he had a couple of Grand Seiko pre-owned, pre-loved stunners that he might be able to show us. Speaking of pre-loved stunners, look at these two. And I got a bunch of dust on the crystal on the 231. I have to apologize for that. I wiped it off with a microfiber cloth, and I usually use a finer microfiber cloth to wipe it off, and I skipped that step, and that should not have been the case, because see all those little specks of, I guess those came from the first microfiber cloth that I generally use, and I should have dusted it off with the fine one. So there you go. That's what these close-up shots, they show every little thing, right? I didn't see it with the naked eye, but these close-up shots show every little thing. Leon's in the house. Keep the 231, sell the 002 stunner. Gold is so 1980s, still in TIK swatches are 2020. Yeah, now that's not going to happen. This puppy here, this puppy is a keeper. Let me give you a close-up of that. Look at that. Look at it peeking out from underneath that cuff. How stunning is that? Let's get it out completely. Let's get it out completely there. That is unbelievable. Yeah, I'm not going to feed into this steel is precious metal thing that's going around. That's kind of a fad. By the way, I did post on my Facebook a YouTube video called Hard Money. It's a documentary, a short documentary. It's only a little over 30 minutes long, like 34 minutes long or something, but it's really cool. Goes into the history of the going off of the gold standard and the Fed and the money printing and all of this stuff. It tells that whole story, and it is fascinating. It is fascinating the way the wool has been pulled over the eyes of most people in the public to where they don't understand that whole thing and how it's basically wrecking them financially. But in any event, you might want to check that out. I did post the link on my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page, if you want to take a look at that. I don't know how many of you all follow me there, but excuse me, but it is posted there. So, take a look at that. And gold is hard money. Gold is hard money. And you know, I think this also relates a little bit to what we're going to talk about today, is items that there's a lot of work that goes into producing that item. This is why over the eons gold has been deemed to be valuable, because it takes a fair amount of work to dig it out of the ground and process it and so on. And then of course it has certain properties. It looks stunning, and it conducts electricity well, and it has use cases as well, but it's also the work that is involved in producing it. And to some extent, that's what makes some of these watches valuable, is the work that goes into producing the watch. And I think that what we're going to find is, over time, I think that people are going to start respecting the amount of work that goes into producing a Grand Seiko. And I think they're going to start valuing those, placing a higher value on those watches because of the amount of work that goes into producing them, as opposed to, of course, the Rolex watches, which a lot less work goes into producing those. So I think that's something that's interesting to ponder going forward. And I think that's going to be true with a lot of things. Anything that takes a lot of time and effort and work to produce will tend to hold its value and be more desirable, if you will. And people will be willing to pay more for it. The reason that the government claims that the consumer price index, that the cost of things, and this is touched on in that documentary that I mentioned, the reason they claim that the inflation rate is like 2 or 3% a year is a lot of items that are normally consumed by people have, because of efficiencies of production, have the cost of producing them have gone way down, and food comes to mind. A lot of food can be produced in this country at very low costs. Now, it's questionable as to the quality of that food, right? But the quantity is not debatable, right? Huge quantities of this food can be produced, and so theoretically they can keep the prices down even though there's really real inflation. So, for example, maybe those items would cost a lot less if there wasn't the excessive money printing, right? There's nothing, no rule that says that prices need to stay stable or that prices need to actually go up. In other words, we have to have some inflation. I mean, that's just a made-up rule, right? Why can't prices go down? And on some things, prices do go down because they can produce them so efficiently, like the big screen TVs and so on, right? They've come down over the years. And so they can, through efficiencies of production, they can outpace the inflation with their efficiencies. And so the pricing can actually come down and they still make money, even in spite of inflation, right? So I don't know if any of that makes any sense to you guys, but it's very complicated. But the bottom line is, what I'm saying is, the items that actually take a lot of work to produce, a lot of labor, even maybe some expensive materials and so on, those are going to be hit by inflation harder than anything else, I think, because those can be equated more to what we would call hard money, a hard asset, if you will. All right, so David Williams is in the house, and he says hello. Stig says hello. Kyle's in the house. Leon says, I don't think they will value the watches that have all that work in them. I saw so many gold pocket watches with a lot of work in them go into the smelter for the gold. Well, but that's a whole trend shift. People stopped wearing pocket watches. So, and also, I think the modern watches, like these two GSs, I think they're better made and better in a lot of ways than the older watches. I think we have improved as far as the quality of the watches, and people will still want quality, right? But I think if the watch is harder to get because there's a lot more hours that go into producing it and so on, so it's a fairly limited production item, I think that over time we will see those become more desirable. We'll see. We'll see what happens with all that. Bree Fit Dance is in the house. She's stunning, and I wonder if she's working out today. Let us know. Are you working out today? Today is push-up day, right? Let us know what you're doing. Tom's in the house. Let's see. I know you don't give financial advice, but took it away. Thank you for getting me. But took it anyway. Thank you for getting me into BTC. Well, hang in there. Hang in there. You got a strong hand? You're going to hang in there? 'Cause, hey, there may be another dip down before it goes up. We've gone up quite a bit. Be prepared for a pullback. It's all normal in Bitcoin. It's a roller coaster ride. So be ready. Be ready, but don't try to time the market and guess at the top and all that stuff. People get burned doing that. I wonder, are they still digging gold out, or is it getting limited? Oh, no, there are still gold mines. Absolutely. You can check the stock to flow ratio on gold and see what that is. It's called the stock to flow ratio. Okay, fellas in the house, Craig, please look up Patek 5524G and tell me if this is a great look for a young up-and-comer. Please, fella, can you send me a link to pull up? Email me a link. It makes it a lot easier. I mean, I can pull it up, but if you send me a link, then I know exactly what you want me to show. But 5524G, let me pull that up real quick. Okay, here's the 5524G. I hate the way this website jumps all around and what the hell. Okay, what is this, white gold? What is it? Dial, white gold, yeah. First of all, I would pass on the white gold thing. I would get yellow gold. I'd get the J model, I guess. That'd probably be what they would call it. I can think of a lot of Pateks that I would probably buy before that one. I mean, it's not horrendous, but no, I think there are other models that I would get before I got that one. But I'd have to see it in yellow gold to really make a decision. But yeah, I definitely would not get the white gold. I don't see a purpose in that. Let's see. Is that good for someone in his 30s making this happen? Again, I think if I was in my 30s and I was going to spend big money on a watch, I'd probably get a date 8 and call it a day. I'd probably get a yellow gold date 8. I think you'd have a much more impressive timepiece on your wrist, and I think that it'd be robust, and I think that you could go out there and make some deals and wheel and deal and make some things happen. I think that's how that whole thing would go down. Blue's in the house. He's got a power watch. He wears a power watch on wrist. Triforce Rich, Craig, I had to explain to someone on the Rolex forums that you should double your money every 7 years. He couldn't believe it. May have saved someone's financial future before he bought more Rolex. Yeah, some people don't realize they don't realize the power of compound interest, and they don't realize the significance of having money work for you. And that's why once you start investing in solid investments that have a good return, and you start seeing that return and you start seeing your money grow, then you're like, oh my gosh. And then you're like, you want to throw more money at investments and all and saving and all. And it just becomes a snowball effect. And that's why people either do well and they get relatively wealthy over time, or at least financially set over time, or they don't. There's usually not a lot of in between. Once you get caught by the bug of saving and investing, and you see the results of that over time, you get hooked on it. You really do. So there you go. Fellow says, just search it. I did. Hi, Craig. Still love my GS038. Well, yeah, that is a nice piece. Nice piece. Can you send us a more current wrist shot? Send us a more current wrist shot. We'll pull it up. Let's see. Triforce Rich. This is why Craig needs to hire Lance. Oh, by the way, Blue, have you bought any straps for that watch from HD Straps? Because he could get the exact correct length for both lengths of the strap so that the buckle would center and everything. And that would be kind of cool. You might want to think about that. HD Straps. Very reasonable. This is why Craig needs to hire Lance. Have Lance control the computer and search engine instead of emailing in. Well, there you go. Well, I mean, he's pretty good, though, at doing the emailing. So, yeah. But I could use a show producer. Absolutely. I could use a producer. I told Steve he should hire a producer, really. But I guess he doesn't want to spend the greenbacks. So there's that. Let's see. Not a fan of at fellow. Go with the date 8. Eduardo. Yeah, there you go. Good advice. Remember, I got first dibs on the 005 Deport TGV. Here's the thing. I'm thinking that I should sell one of the two of those watches because I'm thinking it is not a good move to have a watch sitting all the time and not being worn, which is what's happening right now to the 005. If I were to sell the 231, then of course I could wear the 005. If I were to sell the 005, I can just keep wearing the 231 in rotation with the 002. The 002 is a keeper. So one of those two probably should go. Now, having said that, I have not advertised either one. I'm not pressed to sell either one of them. But if a subscriber wanted one of those two watches, then I would give them a good deal, a very good deal. Now, the 231, remember, they're going to be getting one of the most accurate 231s on the planet. That thing is amazing. So that's a plus. Let's see here. In Deport TGV, he actually wants the 005. Okay. Sent an email of a stunning no-date GS9F. Okay, let's pull that up. Let's pull that up. By the way, this shirt I'm wearing today is a Kenneth Gordon shirt. They're owned by Gitman Brothers these days. Okay. Here we go. Probably not a great photograph. Probably the dial looks more black than that. You might get, it looks a little grayish in these pictures, and I'm guessing that the indices probably pop a little better in real life. Any of these watches, you really have to see them in real life. I'm not a big fan of the way these lugs attach. It's almost like they're kind of welded on. They don't kind of flow quite as good, but not terrible. Not terrible. But I've seen better. I've seen Lance bring forth better options than that. I'll put it that way. Let's see. Compound interest, reverse dividends, passive income. I sent an email. Okay, I got that. Okay, I will look into HD straps. I keep my GS on the blue strap. Okay. By the way, he could make a crocodile strap out of dark blue if you wanted that. You can make whatever colors you want. Let's see. Sell the 005 and keep the 231. The 231 diver is a better all-around watch. Well, the 231 is not an all-arounder. It's a great sport watch, but it's not really an all-arounder. But I don't really need an all-arounder because I have the dress watch. So absolutely, the 231 and the 002 could be a great rotation. No doubt. No doubt. But I would not call it an all-arounder, Lance. Use your terminology. Use correct terminology here. You are an advanced wrench member. You need to use correct terminology. Kyle's in the house. He says, Deport, why not get David's if you... No, David sold his. Announcement on the channel. Announcement on the channel. David Williams has sold and delivered his 005. It is a done deal. So let's see, and that was a good deal. Not to take a sale away from Craig, LOL. Blue, I will send Craig a new wrist shot of the GS shortly, folks. Okay, that'll be cool. Triforce Rich, Kyle, that one doesn't have Craig's DNA. Yeah, I mean, these watches here, I mean, think about it. After I'm gone, that these things don't ever get valuable until after the owner has passed, right? So after I pass, then having one of those watches with the original paperwork with my name on it might be a good thing. There you go. But that could be a long time. I might be around. The Andre people like me tend to live a long time. I told my dad, my dad keeps saying he's going to pass away, anytime and all that. And he's healthy as an ox. And anyway, he's like going on 93, I guess. He was born in 27. And I said, no, I hate to break the news to you, but only the good die young. So you're going to be around a while longer. So that's how that whole thing works. Let's see. Maybe it's not an all-around watch, but would look great and match with many outfits. There you go. Yeah, but for example, if I was wearing it with this shirt with a suit, I think that would look funky. I don't get it. I don't get the whole big sport watch thing with a suit and with a dress shirt, whether it be French cuff or cuffs like this, barrel cuff. I just think it looks silly to have a huge sport watch on in that circumstance. And this watch, by the way, I might point out, you get it on this side of the bone. This watch I can actually wear all the way down on the low side of the bone, that bone, and it's actually comfortable just because of the way the strap works and everything and just the shape of it and all. It's one of the few watches I have that I can wear all the way down and it doesn't really bother me. It's fine. Even when you flex your wrist like this, it feels okay, right? If I wear like the 231 like that, it feels funky. It just doesn't feel right. Even the 005, I wouldn't really want to wear like this, but this watch I can. So this watch is a straight up dress watch. And I think if you try to shoehorn a sport watch into dress watch duty, I don't think that works well. I think it looks goofy, especially when the executives of Grand Seiko do it and they're wearing like a suit and they've got a tiny wrist, right? And they're wearing this huge watch. And I'm like, what in the hell are they thinking? They do sell some nice dress watches that they could put on their wrist. So that's the way that whole thing goes. David's in the chat. I guess he's asking David, what are you getting next? Oh, David's going to answer. The Port TGV says, any used watch I buy gets the bleach treatment. There you go. David's in the house. A jet pursuing a strategy of less is more right now. Happy with the Planet Ocean. Let's see what the future holds. Yeah, I would wait and see what Grand Seiko comes out with. They're coming out with some really interesting pieces. They might come out with something that is really stunning and really interesting. David's getting a Tudor Black Bay 58. I hope not. Edward in the house. Hey, just have 3 SAEB 033. 1 day a grand. I don't know what you're saying there, Edward. Sorry. SARB rather. Okay. SARB. Okay. Kyle's in the house. Got it, David. I feel the same way. Nothing is really calling me to make a purchase, so I'm in no hurry. Okay, Steve is calling. Let's see if we can get the Stevester.
Hey.
See if we can get the Stevester on the show. All right, you look a little dark. Yeah, you look a little dark. A little underexposed.
Yeah, it's really funny. I'm using my new setup. Let me show you. There it is. This is the ATEM Mini.
Yeah, ATEM. Yeah.
For some reason, my monitor shows me bright, and I know that it's coming through dark. and I'm not sure what the adjustment's going to be. We'll just probably have to let it sit. My first
ATEM, yeah,
time.
it's an ATEM Mini Pro. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, that,
Yeah.
okay. All right, well, let's just do the exposure on the fly here. Can you just
Yeah.
adjust your exposure and we'll get it right, and then you'll know it's right.
I probably can't reach behind that camera the way I'm set up. I can move my other camera onto me and see what that
You could
looks like.
also adjust the exposure on that particular shot right there. That one's underexposed a little bit.
Uh, yeah, but the way the cameras are, I can't
Oh,
reach
okay.
around and
Okay.
I can't
Now, what
get.
about
So we'll
the
just
close-up
make
for the
this.
watches? Because that's the important thing.
Right. Forget me. Uh,
Oh, now that looks pretty
forget
good.
me.
Exposure on that's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah. I gotta
Wow.
get. So yeah, I told you I got a few pre-owns in Grand Seiko lately, and that's one of them. And the one I wanted to highlight, and I'm trying to get you back on the
Leave that watch
monitor.
on. Leave that watch on. But I got
Yeah.
something by Triforce Rich here. He says, "Hey, Steve, getting give the king respect. By the way, Steve never got an invoice for the watch. Should I expect it later this week?"
We'll talk.
Oh, okay.
We will talk.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
I
Okay.
love to
So
send invoices. Okay, I'm
this
not seeing your comments right now, so you're gonna have to.
I'll relay them, but that
Yeah, I know you.
that watch looks stunning.
Well, this is a very interesting piece. I got three Grand Seikos in a trade yesterday, and one I
Wow.
really wanted to show you was the SBGN007, the green quartz limited edition. But
Okay. You,
our young
you
intern turned
sold it.
around and just sold it
Oh,
on
okay.
me right out from under my show.
Sold it right
And
out from under you. That's the way things
yeah,
move fast, folks. You
yeah,
need to
they
act
do.
fast at Little Treasury. If you want to get a stunning piece, you need to act fast at Little
Okay.
Treasury.
But this is another really interesting piece. This is the SBGV 243,
Hmm.
and it's part of that sport collection that
And that has a screw down crown?
it does, I believe. Let's just
Okay.
double check. It does. And that is, they had this collection. There was a gray dial piece that was really special also, and a blue dial.
Hmm.
And they weren't limited. I think the blue was, but the gray and the black were not. And they suddenly yanked it from the U.S. market. So, and just as they were really coming on strong, and people really wanted them,
Hmm.
and so I have this now available, and
They're keeping people on their toes.
they are.
Yeah.
So sometimes things aren't limited, and they pull them off the market, or they end up being very limited in production, and which we're seeing with the spring and to some extent the winter and the summer in the Four Seasons collection.
I like
So
the
anyhow,
buoyant clasp on that one you've got right there. And
yes,
that's
beautiful.
very interesting to have that kind of like canvas strap or whatever that's made of
Right, a fabric
to use for
with a
sporting. I guess that's the idea is that can get wet and dry and so on. It's not going to
mhm,
bother it.
yeah.
It's probably designed for all circumstances. And how well do those straps? Do you have much experience with how well those straps hold up?
Uh, well, this one, although it's pre-owned, was hardly worn. So
Hmm.
I haven't had any others back. So I honestly don't know, but it seems very ruggedly made
Okay,
and very sturdy material.
gotcha.
So this has was bought from us in September last year. So it's got 2 years and 2 months left on the warranty,
Hmm.
and the collector who purchased it from me has a number of other watches and takes really good care of his watches. And
Is it a
it's
38 mil? What's the size on this one?
oh no, that's a little larger. Let me measure that, and let's go over to that. And I know you love my measure technique, but tis what it is. Okay, All right, we got 40 on that, 40 and
Okay.
change.
Okay. And it's
So we're,
probably about 12 mils thick 'cause
yeah,
it's a
yeah, but
9F,
it's,
so it's
yeah,
nice and trim.
yeah, really nice piece, black dial, yellow, secondhand, and very sharp.
And look at that, how the minute hand is right over top of the hour hand as we speak. That doesn't
Yeah,
happen very often.
yeah. So that's pretty cool. And what
So
do
do tell, he traded 3 watches in, and what did he buy? First of all, what 3 watches did he trade in?
Okay, well, the SBGN007, which I regrettably can't show you, the green limited edition, and that was an interesting piece. That uh, when that came out, very mixed reaction to it, and then further on, it became a hot piece, and
Gotcha.
everybody's looking for it. And so hot enough that we resold it almost at the original retail price
Mm-hmm.
in the first day out.
They're hard to find,
So
yeah.
not,
Okay, so
yeah,
that
not even
one, this one, and then what other watch did he
okay.
trade in?
Okay, so I've got this is a this has been replaced in the lineup, but it's really a nice little piece. Let me get some
And
focusing
Jaden is
on this.
talking about a stunner SBGN007.
That's what we're talking about.
That's the one you just showed, the 007?
Just sold.
Oh,
Sold.
oh, the green one that you sold.
Yes,
Okay,
unfortunately,
okay.
yeah. And I'm having a little focus challenge here for some
And
reason.
Triforce Rich says, yeah, eventually we're going to get you to use manual focus, but that's probably going to take a while.
I am on manual focus, but I'm
Still won't
not
focus.
sure.
Okay.
Yep. So, but I'm
Okay.
really happy this rig's working because I just started plugging things in like crazy 10 minutes before your show, and
Good.
I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna have another blue screen of death or something like
No, no,
that,
no,
but
no.
no sound, and
That
everything's
the blue
working.
screen of death won't come until you have a really important guest on.
It's got in from France next time or
Yeah,
something like
something
that.
like that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how that works.
So, but I'm going to advertise the blue screen up front.
Okay.
So,
Wait.
anyway, this is
Before you
the
go on, wait, I got a thing. Triforce Rich is saying, Steve, have you ever bought something back for more than you sold it for?
mm, no,
Okay. That hasn't happened
no.
yet.
As,
Okay.
as you know, I'm a little tight. So,
Kyle says,
uh,
yes, they are gold. I don't know what he's talking about as gold, but maybe I missed another
uh,
comment back somewhere.
yeah.
Uh,
So
okay,
where
go
were
ahead.
we here? This is SBGR 253. It's not in the current lineup. Really nice 37 millimeter piece. Beautiful little thing. And this also has 2 years and 2 months left on its warranty, and tidy little piece for someone wanting,
And that's the
essentially.
basic automatic. That's not a
It
high
is
beat. That's like a
right.
28.8 automatic, so it's nice solid
Uh-huh.
movement. Now, is that a
Yep.
screw down crown on that one?
Yeah, I think it is. Let's just double check. No, it isn't. Yeah, you're right. You check that
Okay.
right out.
Okay. All right.
So,
So
yep.
it's
So
kind of like
anyway,
a
we have that.
base, kind of like a more of a base model type of thing.
Right,
But it
but
does have the 5 link bracelet. So it's got the
yep,
higher end
and
bracelet.
got some very nice reviews from the watch press when it came out, and uh, very clean also.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. So it looks like it's had
all
very
right.
little use.
Yeah, we got some clean stuff in here today.
What's the
And
price point on that? Wait, and give us the price point on both of the two previous ones. The 9F with the canvas strap.
okay. Okay, the 9F, I'm asking 2750.
Wow, that's
Yep,
aggressive. Okay.
yep,
What
trying
about
to
the
be.
piece you just showed before this one?
Okay, this one, we're asking 3250.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And the current one, SBGA 373, and that is effectively new. I think that has the 3 years of warranty. I think this is someone who uh, we sized it for them. They went out, and then they wanted something else. And our policy is, if it goes out on the wrist, it comes back into the pre-owned, and protects the buyers,
Hmm.
and so you can be
So it's
sure that
very close to new condition. It's
it
just,
is new. I mean,
yeah.
it's been overnighted somewhere and
Okay.
uh, back to us. And very nice piece with a
So
champagne
is
top.
somebody going to save some money by buying this as opposed to a new one?
Quite a bit. I think I have 39.50 on this. Retails 52.
Whoa,
Yeah, so it's a really good deal. So we try to move our pre-owns, and
that's not
yeah,
bad.
yeah, no, it's very good.
Nice looking
So,
piece.
yeah. So these are just the couple of things that have popped in lately. Sorry, I can't show you the SBGN007. I love to have the interesting
Couple
pieces
more
in the store.
questions here, real quick.
Yeah, yeah, go
Let's
ahead.
see. Lance says, Steve, do you carry Seiko PADI divers?
I do. We don't stock every one. Usually, we uh, pretty much have. Yeah, I do have one, I think, in stock right now. They sell out pretty quickly,
Okay.
um, and we're mainly focused on bringing in the new round of pieces, which has
Okay.
become crazy. We're
And
getting over 30 inquiries a day on the new Seikos. People are just really wild. I'm not talking about Grand Seiko,
okay,
but
gotcha.
30 to 50 inquiries a day. And
All
we're
right. Eduardo
quite,
has a question. Steve, before you started selling GS, what was your prized watch or watch brand?
we were doing very well with Bremont watches.
Mm-hmm.
And prior to that, we started with Ball,
Mm-hmm.
and we were one of the, I think, top three dealers out of the couple hundred almost at their peak, and for years. And so now it's Grand Seiko, Omega. Seiko's doing really well, and uh, stuff is selling from every line, even uh, sort of the more obscure brands like Schaumburg. We just
Mm-hmm.
took a couple of orders this week, and people are digging out interesting pieces, saying, "Can you get it?" And we go off and get it.
By the way, on your shot on this watch, it looks like the focus is hunting a little bit and the exposure seems to be hunting a little bit, just FYI. It looks okay. You don't
Okay.
have to mess with
Okay.
it, but
All
it
right.
looks okay. Um, Kevin asked, can we get the price on the first 9F? And Kyle says he thought it was 2,700. Was that right?
Let me just double check. It
The
it
one with the
was
canvas?
2,700.
Okay.
Yep.
And Kevin is a wrench member, so Kevin, you might want to contact Steve direct on that.
Yep.
Let's see, Edward, what size is the smaller and which ID? I don't understand what Edward's saying. The smaller,
The black dial,
maybe.
the one I showed.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was a
And
37 mil watch, right?
yeah, that's the SBGR 253, 37 millimeter. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So
Uh,
they're all clean as can be. Very nice box papers, warranty.
and does Steve have the bamboo limited edition? If so, price?
Which one?
Okay. There's
The
the question. Which one?
silver dial or the brown dial?
Which one do you have in stock?
Which one does he want?
Okay. When is that new Longines L2.330.4.43.0 tuxedo coming out?
Uh, for everything, the published dates are pretty much can be ignored. And so
Okay.
I don't know offhand. I've just been having this discussion with a lot of brands, and it's very difficult having projecting when things are coming for any of them right
So
now.
basically, if you want a specific watch, you better get on the list
Yeah,
and get a secured spot. Now,
Yeah.
what's this
And
stunner that you have on the screen
well,
right now?
that's one of the SOCOs. I
Okay.
assume that's what uh, he was talking about,
Okay.
so that's the white dialed version.
That's nice.
Yeah,
And
it's
that's a
really
deal. That's the one that comes with the strap also, right?
beautiful strap with matching stitching, matching that second hand. And is that color coming through
Yeah, oh
nicely
yeah.
second hand?
I got the secondhand color. Yeah, coming right through.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
that's the silver dial variant, and here we go with the brown dials. I'm not sure which one he felt was the bamboo.
So those are the two that are spring drives. Aren't there also two others?
No, you've confused that with the seasons.
Okay, gotcha. So
This,
these are just two. That's right. That's right. I
yeah,
remember
yeah,
now. Okay.
and these just came out, and a lot of interest, uh, and
Is there a screw down crown on those?
there is.
Okay.
Okay, so nice, very nice pieces, and people are warming up to them. Price point so great, and
And Brianna says stunning silver watch. I guess she liked the previous one.
okay, we'll
Uh,
show with that.
the green second hand and power reserve hand really stand out. And Mike says Little Treasury does a nice video on the bamboo watches, comes with extra strap. Yeah, definitely take a look at their video on the Little Treasury channel, YouTube channel. They've got a really good video on both of these watches.
Yeah, yeah. Our one of our associates, Chris, is really come on strong with his video skills and close-up skills,
Yeah,
doing a great job. So worth checking out on
absolutely.
Little Treasury YouTube channel. And then we're also posting something on your channel. I think little links over.
Teasers, little teasers
These.
that usually have a link over to the full video. So
Yeah.
if you miss it on theirs, you'll be sure to click the bell on both the channels. Make sure you
Hmm.
subscribe and click the bell so you get a notification when
Yeah.
they have these goodies, because here's the thing, they sell fast, folks. That's what I was talking about this when I opened the show about items that have real work that goes into them.
Hmm.
Those are the kinds of items that in an inflationary environment, which we're in and we're headed into, those are the type of items that get A, harder to get, and B, you might have to pay more money for because the money is inflating and the work and everything that goes into these items is not any less. And so that's what you have to be careful on things like this. You might need to get them sooner rather than later. You might start having some issues. So
Also, there does seem to be a spate of purchasing, um, especially in some of the relatively higher price points
that's right.
for us.
This is what,
And
yeah,
it's not just us. I
yeah,
note the bike store down the
yes.
road is sold out, and we're in
The,
a boating area. Many of
and,
the boat dealers have sold
and
like
yeah,
crazy.
and as people start realizing that we're coming into an inflationary situation, it makes them want to spend their money faster because they realize 2 weeks from now their money isn't going to be worth as much. And so that's where you start getting hyperinflation and you start getting, like happened down in Venezuela, right? But we probably won't get to there, but we're going to certainly see an inflationary situation so that things like this that take a lot of work are going to be more expensive. The things that are mass produced that they can produce a ton of, and that those aren't affected by this as much. But it's things that take a lot of work
Hmm.
and time that will be hit by inflation more. So, if you have an eye on something like this, you might want to act. Just a little heads up, because if this thing's 20% more or hard to get a year from now, you might say, well, darn, I should have just gotten it while I could.
Yeah. So a lot of these things, especially also with Seiko now, with some of their recreations, it's almost like a panic in terms of people reaching out and some of them are months late. I mean, we were
They are literally printing trillions of dollars, Steve. There's a lot of dollars being pumped into the economy. So people
right.
have money to spend, and they will spend it.
Hmm.
And they're going to tend to want to buy things that they think are potentially going to be more expensive later. And so,
Also,
yeah.
I think there's the effect that people normally in these times around here would be going on vacation, going on a cruise. We would be relatively slow. They'd be back in a month or so with
Mhm.
the jewelry they bought on the boat needing repair.
Yeah.
That's not going on. And so there's funds to be spent. There are people who are looking for some kind of an experience. And for many, collecting watches or fine jewelry is that kind of an experience.
There you go. All
So,
right. Well,
all right.
any closing thoughts before we let you go?
No, I appreciate you letting me on and try out this new rig. I'm really surprised it worked right off the bat, and keep our fingers crossed for my
Now,
solo
when are you going to
shows.
do your first broadcast here on the channel using your new system?
I will probably do it next week. I have a lot of rewiring to get everything copacetic.
Okay.
And I'm also adding in a new element. I'm going to try to start recording everything and maybe do some
Yeah, that you can just plug in
reduced videos.
you can
Yeah.
plug in a flash drive or anything to that, and you can
Well, I
record.
just got one of those Ninja 5s that's a monitor and has a big recording thing. So we're going to play with that and see where it goes.
I hate to break the
So,
news to you, Steve. All you had to do was plug in a a thumb drive into that device. It has built-in recording. You
which
didn't need a
does.
separate recorder.
No, it
The
doesn't have built-in.
The
No,
ATEM
no, no,
Mini.
no, you're wrong. It records through the USB to some kind of recording device.
Yeah, you just have to plug in a USB thumb drive. You buy like a 32 gig USB thumb drive and just plug it right in. It'll record right onto that.
Well, it was much more fun dropping the Ninja, to be honest.
I I hear you. I hear
Thumb
you.
drives are no fun.
Okay.
Come on,
I'm
Craig.
just saying that thing's got recording
Mr.
built right
Consumer
into it.
here.
You could even plug in an external hard drive. You can plug in anything into that USB, and it'll
Much
literally record your show right
just
onto it.
my Ninja. So,
Now, I'm not sure how you're going to do the Ninja, though. How are you going to pipe it through there? What are you going to use, a splitter and send the signal both places?
that's the nice thing. I am uh, acting like a webcam through the USB port on the ATEM, and the recorder comes out of the HDMI out.
Um,
Um,
well, but when you're streaming, you want to be streaming through the Ethernet. You're going to be streaming through the Ethernet cable.
well, that's a third output.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
so sure. You better play around and make sure that it's all
Yes,
going to work. But I
they're
think you're
very
going the long way around the barn. I think you just need to stream and then just plug in a drive or a thumb drive or anything and just record it right onto that while you're streaming.
well. We'll talk about this offline. And
Okay.
all right.
All right.
So,
Well,
okay.
they
So,
want you.
just
They're looking
use
forward to your first broadcast, so they're
right.
chomping at the bit.
Leon wants me to do a G-Shock show, and maybe he'll come in and help me do it. I'm not totally on top of all the G-Shocks we
So
have.
is Leon a regular? He drops by there regularly.
Yep, Leon does,
Okay.
and Leon uh, is an entity in his own right. I mean, he's got a monstrous Seiko
Well, he
collection.
needs to
Someday,
have the Leon show. He needs to host his own show here on the network.
or he can Skype into me if I can avoid the blue screen.
Well, you can do that, or he can just go there and host the show right there.
Good. Okay, but I have to give up my seat, and I'm unlikely to do that. So, all right,
Delegating.
right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All
I
right.
Run, got to go
That's
home. Eat.
Steve, Little Treasury Jewelers. Thanks
Take
for
care.
calling in.
You.
All
See you.
right, that's how that works. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Oh boy. All right, Steve's got some new toys, playing around with some new toys, and hopefully he'll get all that working. That time is a wasting. We're burning, as the late great John Wayne would say, we're burning daylight, burning daylight. Let's see. Trefors Rich says, if I was in the area, I'd just come over and help Steve with all this on a slow day at the office. Sounds like, though, he's not having very many slow days. That's the problem, is he's swamped. And I think that's the main reason why he hasn't been doing shows, is he's just swamped over there, selling watches left and right. All right. All right, let's see here. All right, let me get rid of this. Okay, here we go. Lance is in the house. Oh, this one's sold. It's sold already. Let's see. Let's look at the original listing. What? Okay, here we go. 8,700 US. Okay. It's not hateful. I'm not a Zenith guy, but it's not hateful. See, that's the thing. All gold watches, if they're not a really solid brand, you can get them for a good price, because we talked about this before. There's really not that much gold in the watch. Let's go through the rest of the slides here before we. I guess that was the last slide. There's not really that much gold in any of these watches, any of these gold watches. Really what you're paying for is the quality of the watch itself, and again, the work that went into making that watch and so on, and of course the brand name in the case of Rolex in particular. And so it's not the gold that you're paying for. And that's why these off-brand watches, even though they're a gold watch, right, that they typically don't sell for that much, because if people don't want that brand, they don't care that it's gold, right? They just don't want the brand. So what that means is sometimes you can get a good buy if you like the watch, right? And if it'll serve your purpose, then why not? And Leon says, I bought that Rolex Oyster Petrol 36 in his parking lot last Saturday. Yeah, I remember that. I just didn't know you went there regularly. Let's see. Oh boy, might we get a call from Steve that there will be no snooping for me. Oh well, who knows? LOL. Nice stuff. Let's see. Leon says the Gambrills, Maryland area is very wealthy. Those folks were just waiting for stores to open to spend money. It was busy last Saturday at Little Treasury. Well, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. With what's going on with all this money printing and everything, it is the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. That's the way it is. The cards are stacked against the less affluent, and they're stacked in favor of the affluent. So Steve is in a great position to continue to do well, because the wealthy still have money and are getting more money. Because all this money, these trillions of dollars, most of it is routed to the wealthy. It's not benefiting the poor or even the middle class. It's all being routed, for the most part, to those that have a lot of money. That's how the system works. Very corrupt. Very, very corrupt. That's how it works, unfortunately. But fortunately for people like the Stevester. Okay. Let's see. Yes, I buy a lot of watches from Little Treasury, says Leon. There you go. He's one of them. All right. Okay, so let's see. We've been going almost an hour. Almost an hour. We can get ready. We can get close to wrapping up. And since the lovely Bree was in the chat, I'm going to go ahead and show her website. I will do that, since she was kind enough to pop into the chat and say hi. BreeFitDance.com, BreeFitDance.com. You can go there and follow her on social media. Learn more about what she's up to. And maybe learn a little bit about fitness and health. And she's even learning a lot about Bitcoin and a lot about hard money, folks. And, it's pretty impressive that a 20-year-old even wants to learn about all those kinds of things. The lovely Bree, BreeFitDance.com. Let's see. And Leon says, Zenith watches never sell for cheap. It's a very well-known name. The 1988 to 2000 Rolex Daytona uses Zenith movement. Yeah, but they don't go for the kind of money that, like if that gold watch was a Rolex, it would be more money, right? If that gold watch was a Patek Philippe, it would be a lot more money. That's a pretty good price for an all-gold watch, if you ask me. Let's see. And Triforce Rich says Zenith sells for cheap on the pre-owned market. LOL. Values tank. There you go. Well, that's the same with a lot of brands. A lot of brands are that way. I mean, Rolex holds its value pretty well, right? But even a lot of Rolex models take a dump after they're sold new. I mean, look at the date judge that Brett bought, right? What did he pay? 16? I think he paid 16, right? And that thing new would be what, 30 grand? I think it'd be around 30, wouldn't it? So that's quite a drop, right? So depending on the watch, a date 8 takes a big hit. If you bought a brand new date 8 and 2 months later you wanted to sell it, you're going to take a big hit, right? That's just the way it goes with a lot of this stuff. Craig, what's your opinion about crypto trading bots? I don't do any trading, and all I do is buy and hold Bitcoin. I don't do any trading. I'm a long-term thinker, and I just buy and hold Bitcoin. That's my plan, and I think that's the best plan for most people. Not financial advice on this channel, but most people that try to trade get burned and end up losing money. So that's a difficult thing to do. Leon's in the house. Well, to be fair, Craig, most watch cannot compete with the Crown Rolex in name and desirability. Yeah, if you want the name, if you want the top name in watches, it is absolutely Rolex. Now, if you want a better watch, go with Grand Seiko. So, depends on what you want. Some people want the name. They absolutely want the name, and I don't begrudge them that. I wore Rolexes for 40 years. Of course, I didn't know everything I know about Grand Seikos then. And of course, Grand Seikos weren't as good back then, in my opinion. Really, Grand Seiko has come into its own. When they changed over to the new dial in 2017, from that point forward, as kind of like, they really upped their game, in my opinion. I think it's a better looking watch. I think their quality is even better, and some of their newer movements are amazing. And I think that Grand Seiko has really come into their own. And when they came out with this 002 dress watch, I mean, my gosh, are you kidding me? I mean, that's just absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. So they really are coming on strong. And Rolex has shot themselves in the foot. I mean, they came out with that super case. Are you kidding me? It's just totally ridiculous. And so, yeah, they've got some issues. Let's see. Trifer Switch says, well, precious metal watches in general depreciate the most. Yep, exactly. Grand Seiko has some lovely gold watches. Yes, they do. The 002 is a perfect example. All right, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap this puppy up. It was a good show. Remember, the lovely Bree, BreeFitDance.com. BreeFitDance.com. And Lance says, Craig, I think you should sell the 005 and get a 6-digit Datejust Turnomatic. It combines the elegance of a Datejust with the usefulness of a timing bezel. That is a cool watch. That is a really cool watch. And if I was inclined to go back to Rolex, that would be something I would consider. But I've been too spoiled by the accuracy of my Grand Seikos and the quality, the overall quality, I must say, that I don't think I can go back to Rolex. I just don't think I can step back and step down to a lower quality watch overall. I just don't think that's going to happen. But I do like the Datejust Turnomatic, the one with the white gold bezel. I think it's cool. Absolutely cool. So, on that note, we're going to wrap this puppy up. Hey, click subscribe and click the little bell so you get notifications.